Welcome back to the channel, folks. In today's video, I will be sitting on the floor. This is going to be a little bit of a more casual video. I just wanted to talk about a product that I purchased recently that I've been wanting to get a video up on since I got it. Recently, Pat McGrath came out with the Bijoux Brilliance collection for holiday, and I purchased several products from the collection. Well, several is dramatic. I purchased 3 products. I purchased 2 of the big palettes, both of the big palettes, which come with 9 eyeshadows and 2 blushes. And then I purchased 1 of the quints. So this is the quint that we're going to be talking about today. This is Lunar Nightshade. And this is the color story. It's definitely the most colorful palette in the collection. I would have probably waited to purchase these palettes had it not been for the fact that I kind of figured it would be good for my channel to kind of buy them right away. I got a 10% discount. I'm sure if I had waited, I could have gotten a much steeper discount. But I made the decision to buy them for the channel, and then life hit me. A lot of crazy stuff was going on. I got sick. You can probably still hear that I am sick. So I didn't get to talk about these products, in a timely fashion and get this video out at the time that I wanted to. So maybe I'm the last person on the internet to be talking about this palette. But the reason that I bought this one in particular, other than the fact that it is the most ideal for me because it is a little bit more on the colorful side, whereas the other ones all lean a lot more neutral. And I do like a fun, colorful eyeshadow palette. I have plenty of neutrals. I didn't need to buy any more neutrals. The big palettes themselves have several neutral shades in them. We'll talk about those in another video. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen eventually. But I also thought that it would be a good idea to, discuss this palette on the channel because this is the one that I know I saw a lot of other YouTubers, bigger YouTubers, talking about in their videos. Everyone seemed the most excited for this one, so I thought that it would be fun to talk about. The makeup is already on. I didn't want to waste time applying on camera, but I just wanted to quickly tell you how I felt about each of the shades. I did use all of them. And I did choose to do something a little different from what I saw everyone else doing with this palette. Everyone else kind of started with the satin purple shade in the crease, which is what I did. I should probably say the names, right? That satin purple is called Midnight Iris. And then, of course, Noir Nebula to deepen up the outer corner. Those are just kind of givens because of the nature of what the shadows are. But I wanted to switch it up because everybody else was using Neptunian Orchid on the lid as like the main shade, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to switch it up. So I used Pale Amethyst on the lid, which I think is beautiful. It's a very soft, slightly purple shade. So I wanted to do a little bit of that and just kind of switch it up and not do the same thing that everyone else was doing. So I hope that you like this. Let's start by discussing the satin shade Midnight Iris. This shade is super duper pigmented. It goes on really strong. It is easy to blend out, but just be careful because it really does pack a punch and it kind of goes and goes. You don't need a ton, but it is buildable. You can kind of start soft and keep building and it will increase in intensity. So that's a really beautiful shadow, and something that I appreciate about this shadow being a satin is the fact that I don't know if I'll be able to catch it on camera with this lighting, but it does have a little bit, I'm not getting it on camera here, but I've seen other people do better swatches of it with better lighting, and you can see there's a little bit of a slightly blue shift to it, which I think kind of marries it to these 2 shades a little bit better. So I think a lot of people are kind of thrown off by the fact that it's like these purple kind of shadows and then like these sort of sea green or green, blue, teal shades, whatever you want to call them, and then like this sort of champagne-y, sort of like a pale champagne. I feel like the color story can kind of throw people off, but I think that because the purple has that little bit of the blue sheen in there, it kind of just comes together a little bit better. Next, I took Noir Nebula on the outer part of the lid. I actually just took it with my finger and applied it, and then I took a brush and blended it out. It applies beautifully. I just swatched my Sith Seduction palette, you know, like the Darth Vader one from the Star Wars collection that came out a little while ago, and I had never used it before, and I was kind of surprised by how chunky the like dark black sort of shimmer was in there. I was a little nervous that this shade in here might be like that as well, but it's not at all. It's very smooth, very nice, very easy to apply, very easy to blend out. I mean, as you can see, it's quite nice. Kind of blended it up into the crease a little bit. All over the lid, I took Pale Amethyst, which is a beautiful shade, very soft and creamy. And I hope that you can see it's very, very pretty. It's like it's almost just like a neutral, but it does have a little bit of a sort of purpley, sort of a tinge to it. You can see just in the pan the difference between Pale Amethyst and Platinum Moonlight, which is this shade here. There's just a little more color to it. And, you know, just applied the way that I applied it, it comes off very kind of neutral and soft and just kind of gives like a highlight and a sheen to the lid. I think it's really beautiful. I also took some on my finger just to intensify, because with a brush, you know, it was pretty, but I wanted to amp it up because you can see it has quite a bit of sheen to it. It's very reflective, and I wanted to get that on my lid, so I used my finger for that. Then I took Platinum Moonlight, which is like a champagne shade, and I put that on my inner corner, as you can see. Very bright highlight. It applied very, very nicely. All of the shadows in here are super creamy and soft and shiny and beautiful. Then I took everyone's favorite shade in this palette, Neptunian Orchid, which is the one that I think most people were excited about. It's definitely one of the shades that I was very excited about. I do think that the purple satin shade is probably the shade that I was the most excited for, but these, you know, kind of green blue shades were also very enticing for me. I just took that shadow all under my eye, as you can see, and it's quite nice. I mean, it applied really beautifully. I just, you know, took a brush and just kind of softly applied it down there, and it blended out really, really nicely. I did decide to kind of bring it in a little here, which, because it is so kind of blue, it made my eyes look a little tired, so I applied a little bit more of the shade here, Platinum Moonlight, and just kind of brightened it up a little more. So hopefully that looks good. Hopefully it's, you know, satisfactory. Regardless of what you think of the look though, I think that this palette is really, really beautiful. The quality is really nice, and I'm excited to play with it some more. I really want to pair it with some other palettes. Let me show you. So right now Pat McGrath is having 30% off. Well, 25% if you spend less than $125, 30% if you spend like over, or $125 and over, I don't know. So I ended up buying Mothership 3. I'm trying to get my hands on all of the Motherships that have the baked shades in them. This is such a beautiful palette, and I'm so excited to play with it. But can I just show you? I was looking at these palettes side by side today, and I honestly think that they look so beautiful together, and playing with the two together would be so much fun. So maybe I'll be doing something like that in the very near future. I also think that this palette would pair beautifully with both of the bigger palettes that I purchased, because, you know, the one palette has more of like the greens, and then the other one has like the purpley shades. Looking at this palette with the two big ones, I don't have them with me at the moment. They're like over with my makeup stuff. But this palette pairs beautifully with both of the big ones in my opinion, so maybe I'll do a little bit of something with that as well. I need to set aside some time to really enjoy my Pat McGrath palettes. I know I'm doing a month of Natasha Denona this month, and that's giving me time to play with and enjoy my Natasha Denona palettes. But I definitely need to set aside some time to play with my Pat McGrath stuff. So maybe you'll be getting a month of Pat McGrath from me in the near future. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very possible. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little discussion about this little palette, my little first impressions. Honestly, I don't have any real criticisms. I kind of wish that I did, just so that it doesn't seem like I'm just like, oh yeah, it's great, you know, buy it. The price is a criticism, $36. Like I said, I got it 10% off because they were doing that when it first came out. I don't think that that's still happening, but, and you know, it's not part of the 30% off sale that they're doing right now. I would say wait until it goes on sale, whether that's in the holiday sales or if you're VIB or Rouge, you'll be able to access either 15% or 20% off respectively in the Sephora sale that is coming up at the end of the month. So, you know, you can take advantage of that. I imagine these palettes will probably go on sale for a deeper discount later on, probably after the holidays, or you know, you might catch these bad boys showing up at Marshall's and TJ Maxx like the ones last year. That's always a little bit of a gamble though, and I will say because this one kind of has a lot of buzz around it, that was another reason why I was like, maybe I'll just get it just in case it does sell out and they don't restock it. So there's that. You can keep that in mind, but I would say wait until it goes on sale for, you know, a deeper discount than just 10%. And that is really just because I think that $36 is a ton of money for, you know, just 5 shadows. And they're not particularly big pans either. But performance-wise, I really do think that they're so beautiful. Do you like this look? I am still undecided as to whether or not I like this look, but I hope that you at least think that it's inspiring. Hopefully it gave you some idea of what the palette can do. I guess that's going to be it for this one. Stay tuned for more Halloween shenanigans. I'm going to be doing more looks with my Natasha Denona palettes for my month of Natasha Denona, celebrating Halloween with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. And stay tuned for more Pat McGrath stuff as well. I still have to do more videos talking about the Bijoux Brilliance collection, the big palettes. Probably going to want to use number 3, Mothership 3. I think that Mothership 3 makes a really nice Halloween palette as well. So maybe, I don't know. I don't have time to do a million different videos, but we'll see. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you got something out of it. I will be seeing you guys again very, very soon. I'm going to be, you know, doing my Sunday video. So tune in for that. And in the meantime, have a great week. Peace.